Hello again, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of the high school football season, Mirror TV on YouTube. My name is Scott Franco, again joined by Mike Boytim, our beat writer for all things high school football in the Mirror. As if you remember last week, we started to ask about how we were going to build a cup collection. We have BG, we have Hollidaysburg, and so I shamelessly asked, against Mike's wishes, but now Mike agrees with me, shamelessly asked for someone to send us a cup. Someone sent us a cup. We were so excited. It came in the mail last week in a box. I thought it was pizza. Mike knew it wasn't pizza. So we're going to check. Can you see our, look at these. We spare no expense on graphics here.
Special effects.
Special effects. So here is this week's cup. Penn, Cambria. Thank you to the dad of the quarterback.
Garrett Harold.
Garrett Harold sent us a nice note thanking us for the coverage that we do on Friday nights and Saturday nights for high school football. And now the gauntlet has been thrown down. Penn, Cambria. How about Central Cambria? How about Northern Cambria? How about Bellwood Annis?
And when you check the passing leaders in the stats page this week, you'll see that Garrett is among the yardage leaders in the area.
And that's not why he's in there. He'd have been in there even if we wouldn't have got a cup. Not to say that you can't still send us a cup, whoever's got the top 5 rushing. I can't believe I haven't got a Tyrone cup yet, but I won't point that out to anybody outside my household. So anyways, we're going to look at 4 games here for week 3. Our first game has to be, I don't know who's covering this game for us, Mike, but they're going to be one lucky guy. Central 2-0, Clearfield 2-0. Central's the home team. Mike, what are you expecting out of this game Friday?
Well, these two teams have played great games over the years. Central has beaten Clearfield a few times that they didn't think that they would win that game. There's been some overtime games. I mean, they've played really well. And, you know, hey, I picked against Central the first 2 weeks, and they've won the first 2 weeks. They had hung in there against Tyrone until the very end and won it on the last play. The Braden Kit situation with Jeff Hohenstein splitting time, it was mostly Kit the second game. Kit played the majority of quarterback, and he got our Athlete of the Week award.
Yes, he did. I got to see Clearfield in a preseason game. They scrimmaged Hollidaysburg. They have a big kid at quarterback. He's a 10th grader. His name eludes me right now. But I remember seeing the kid in 7th grade because he's played quarterback for them ever since. And he's an athlete. In fact, at least in the preseason game, he's a quarterback on offense and he's a defensive end on defense. Usually your quarterback isn't a defensive end. That shows you how big this kid is. And they have a couple other...
Jake Lezer is a great wide receiver for them. He's getting Division I interest.
Yeah, and they have a horse on the line. The best I can tell you, the guy has a beard. He looks like a Viking. It's like somebody took a Viking out of history and put him on the line at Clearfield. I understand his nickname is Bama, something like that, because again, I was on the sidelines at the scrimmage game. But Central just, I mean, they go ahead and they trounced Northern Bedford. They hung in there and they beat Tyrone at Tyrone. Yeah. So again, this should be one of the better, if not the best game this Friday night. Now, what could not be a good game on Friday night, and maybe they'll prove me wrong, but Hollidaysburg's playing State College. Both teams are 2-0. State College is just, I mean, there's been several years, I think, where Hollidaysburg's gone into this game 2-0. And then State College is just so good. They're so deep. I've already been told by sources within the Hollidaysburg program that they have like 5 Division I kids on their team. And like 3 of them are already going to Penn State. But what have you heard about State College?
Well, State College is going to be good. As far as the situation with the field... Don't forget, the game is at the South Track.
Yeah, bring your lawn chair.
There is limited seating, but they say that they will not. It won't be a problem. The coaches from State College have told us that. You know, there is a hill over the fence that they can put you for if you have to bring a lawn chair or something like that. The game will also be on Me TV, and that's a channel 110 on Atlantic Broadband. So if you want to just stick at home and watch this one. You could do that. But, you know, these games are important for Hollidaysburg. Even if they don't win, which they can win. They can win the game. They get a lot of experience playing these teams, and that's what enables them to be, you know, a force at the end of the season when they play the teams like this in Fort Hill, Maryland, and teams that have a really good history.
And I know at the junior high level, I know the 10th grade class only lost to State College by a touchdown. And I have it probably mixed up, but one of those classes, the 12th or the 11th grade class at Hollidaysburg, actually beat State College in junior high, which they don't do that often. Now, that doesn't seem to translate, though, once they get to the varsity, because their guys grow up to be like 6'5", 300, or speedsters, and our guys kind of gradually grow to like 6'1". But like Mike said, I mean, they can take something from it if they can stay in this game. I just don't know if Hollidaysburg can get in a shootout with this team and win it. So we'll just have to wait and see on Friday night. Our next game, another 2-0 team against the 2-0 team, our theme that Mike worked on, Juniata Valley at Bellwood Annis. Bellwood Annis coming off an easy win over Glendale last week. Juniata Valley played Mount Union, and Mount Union played them a lot tougher than a lot of people thought would happen. In fact, Juniata Valley didn't have a lot of offense, if I'm right, and their defense played well, and I think the defense is probably the reason why they won. What are your thoughts on this game Friday night, Mike?
Yeah, Juniata Valley was actually losing that game at halftime. Came back and won, which has been a theme for Juniata Valley. They've now won 12 of their last 13 games since they lost to Bellwood last year. That includes the Western Final that they lost to Lackawanna Trail. So Juniata Valley wants to get to the point where Bellwood is. Coach Musser thinks that they can be one of the better teams in the ICC, and they said that Bellwood's the measuring stick to get there. So they're who they want to try to get. That's why this game's so big for them.
And also, we were talking earlier that last year Juniata Valley thought that this was going to be their year to beat them. They were home, and Bellwood still won it. And it's going to be a little tougher this year now because I just think in high school football, two good teams. I know whenever I try to pick the home team. So we'll see how that ends up turning out. Our next game, our two teams are both 1-1. BG coming off of a loss, pretty bad loss to Westmont Hilltop. Cambria Heights coming off of a win.
No, Cambria Heights lost to Richland.
These both got down. Yeah, Cambria Heights opened with a win over Penn Cambria. Both these teams 1-1. This game is at St. Francis Friday night because the lights aren't done yet at Cambria Heights High School, if I'm correct.
Well, it's also part of a thing that BG is trying to start up called the College Tour, where Coach Wheeler told me that they want us to try to play at a college field like every year just so that their kids can get experiences in playing in a college field and try to, aspire to, hey, I want to play college football. I want to do this. And he thinks it's a great thing to be able to get that experience. And both coaches are excited about it, although they have had experience playing at St. Francis before because when Bishop Carroll was in the Laurel Highlands, a lot of times they play at St. Francis.
And Heights has the real good running back, Travis, I believe.
Yeah, he got a little banged up last week, but he was able to stay in the game.
And then BG has the Myra kid, who I think, from what I'm told, he did well the opening series, and then Westmont kind of just shut down their whole. I actually got that from my two nephews who play for Bishop Cove. Those are my sources. But who do you see? Did you see any one advantage? I know I picked BG, so that's no secret here.
Yeah, I would say that the Marauders are probably the favorite here, but Cambria Heights is going to be. They need to try to pass the ball more. When I talked to Coach Lewis before the season, he told me that they were going to be a dual threat team. That they had a quarterback come back in Ryan Beer that was going to be able to throw the ball, and it just hasn't worked out the first two games. So that's something that he really thinks they can improve on, and if they do that, this could go down to the wire.
And our last thing we're going to talk about is not a game, but things that we take that we took from last week. The thing that stands out, provided by Michael's stats and his stuff he keeps for us. Central Cambria last year scored 92 points all year long. This year, their first two games, 109 points, which means hopefully, and good for them, Shane McGregor's got things pointed in the right direction. And at least they've got to be fun to watch. I haven't seen them, but to score that many points in two games has got to be something great for the fans.
The tough thing about it this week is they got Westmont, so
yeah.
They might only have the ball 5 times.
Yeah, and Westmont Hilltop didn't even throw the ball. They had no yards passing against BG last week, and they still won by a pretty big amount of points.
Yeah, and then on the other stat that just jumps off the page right now is coming from Shannon Valley. Joe Bacher, he has 681 yards rushing in just 2 games.
Which means people know that he's the guy getting the ball, and they still can't stop him.
Yeah. So they have a little bit of a little bit of a test this week against Northern Bedford. We'll see how he does against a little bit stiffer competition, but it's been pretty impressive so far.
And that'll do it for week 3 here at Mirror TV high school football. Hoping that we can put another cup right next to this one next week. Maybe something that goes with my red here, like maybe a Central Cup or a Central Cambria, or maybe the Sky Blue from Cambria Heights would look really nice with this. Don't let us down. I'll be so depressed if I have no cup to put here next week. For Mike Boytim, for our director Pat Waxmunsky, who's behind the camera tonight, my name is Scott Franco. Thanks for watching on Mirror TV.